Yo, what is going on, guys? Let's go ahead and get into the abilities that I use and the team I use for my Baltimore offense. And this is the team, as you guys can see. Now, you will see that we have Holt and Moss. You can utilize pretty much any two receivers you want in these spots. I'm a huge Randy Moss fan, so I went with Moss, and Holt is free, so I use that one. Now, the quarterback, in my opinion, has to be Mohamed Sanu. He's the only quarterback in the game that's not going to fumble very frequently, besides Cordell Stewart. And Sanu has the ability to get Hot Route Master and Escape. So, as you'll see when we go to the abilities right here, I use Hot Route Master, Fast Break, Identifier, and Escape Artist. Now, Mohamed Sanu's release is not the greatest. So, if you wanted to replace Identifier with the Gunslinger, you're able to do that. Just wanted to be open about that. I like having Identifier because I like knowing where my opponent is. I feel like it gives me such a huge advantage in terms of knowing where I can, quick pass to, especially against a blitz. But I know Gunslinger is also very good, and you might want to use that. Now, Fast Break is important. You have to have Fast Break when running this scheme. This is going to allow you to really take advantage of anybody that's in the big nickel over G or nickel normal. Basically, things that can do a good enough job against the run, but also still be solid pass defenses. What we want to do in this scheme is we want to force our opponent into run defenses and then abuse those run defenses by passing the ball. If they're able to sit in those hybrid type of defenses, like I like to do, like I sit in nickel 3-3-5 normal, if they're able to sit in those style of defenses, it makes this offense very much more of a grinded out type of offensive scheme as opposed to a big play scheme. Because ideally what we're doing is if they're in pass defenses, we're going to be able to just kill them with the run. If they're in run defenses, we're going to be able to kill them with the pass. And it's so late in the year, we know exactly what our run defenses, what our pass defenses, and then again, once what are these combinations of good coverage but also decent run defenses. So that's it for Sanu. Like I said, we are going to activate our fullback. Now I put Bo Jackson at fullback. If you don't have Bo Jackson, you can put Walter Payton. Basically, you just want human joystick. Now Bo Jackson does get a couple different things than Walter, so I go with him. You've got human joystick, inside zone guru, outside zone guru. I'm not 100% sure that they actually do anything, but I run on conservative, so having bruiser and all that type of stuff, elusive, it doesn't matter. So I'm not going to be doing that anyway. And then I like matchup nightmare. Matchup nightmare, I throw a lot of wheel routes to my running back and my fullback. So this is just going to allow me to trigger those animations to where the linebackers won't be able to catch the picks. So gets me a lot of ag catches, stuff like that. Like I said, you could utilize other things if you wanted. I just don't really feel like it does anything. I mean, truthfully. Spin cycle, jukebox, all this stuff. It all forces you to run on balanced or aggressive, and you're going to fumble in so frequently if you do that. So I run a conservative. Those are the abilities I use on Bo. And then Moss, my wide receiver 2, is going to be the guy that runs the jet touch pass. So he's got human joystick. If you don't have Moss, or if you don't have a guy that can get human joystick, you can grab a guy that has a grab and go, and it works the exact same way. And then I use Streak Specialist, Cross Specialist, Post Flag Elite. Those are the 3 that I use. Now, truthfully, I don't throw a ton of streaks. So if you wanted to remove Streak Specialist and go with like Route Technician, you could do that. You could theoretically do a Playmaker if you wanted that option. Red Zone Threat. Those would be the only ones I really would maybe use. So the last one might be Slant, or maybe the In Specialist, one of those two. I guess there's In Out. There's one of those somewhere around here. Yeah, here we go. In Out Elite. That might not be a terrible one instead of Streak Specialist, but that's what I use. Now, that's basically it. Like the rest of these players, they don't truthfully matter. Um, Sanu's needed, a running back with human joystick is needed, and then a good receiver, that can get the route chems, that can hit all route ability thresholds, which is 90. So as long as they hit 90 route running, you're good. You want the ability to have either grab and go or human joystick on that, and you're good to go. Those are going to be the 3 players that you put your abilities on in terms of your offense. Now, I'm going to get into a game, and we'll start breaking down the specific plays. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and break down the running game out of the pistol strong slot. And the plays we're going to always come out in is going to be power option, mainly because we set our audibles for the other plays, right? Now, power option is used to take advantage of your 40 line sets, like your big nickel over G, your nickel normal, stuff that your opponent may be able to, run to kind of slow down the pass and contain the run, if that makes any sense at all. But this power option run will basically allow you to run directly opposite the way you're supposed to run. So like, for instance, the power option is to the left initially, so we're going to run to the right. And it works because we're running towards our receiver side. And as you saw, you can run left or you can run right. It doesn't really matter. You just run away from the way the play is designed to go. But you do need fast break in able to do that. Now, with that being said, let's get into the bread and butter of the running scheme, and that's going to be the triple option. So the triple option is dominant because it pops the nickel 3-3-5 wide. It pops the 3-4 odd edge blitz. So like basically you're forced into playing these run defenses that are either just completely sell out, like don't let your opponent, run, or you're going to get dotted. Like it's one of those things, like you can see no matter what we try to do, like there I tried to shoot the B gap, I couldn't do it. If I am running the ball with the power option and the triple option and the touch pass, which I'll get to here in a couple seconds, as you'll see, the ability to run to all sides of the field without really any tell is kind of a pain. I mean, as you saw, like right there, I was able to run the triple option all the way to the left. I cut it up the previous play and went directly up the middle, then bounced it back to the right. Like you have the ability to run in every different direction that you want. And the triple option is designed to go up the middle or to the 2 receiver side. The power option designed to go to the 2 receiver side. And then you have the jet touch pass. Now here you see I'm coming out in edge blitz just because I wanted to show you that the linebacker's not going to shoot the gap, which is key. And this is with me blitzing 7, right? So I'm doing everything theoretically that I could to slow down this run. And as you see, like I'm not able to, completely gash it, but I'm able to pick up 4 or 5 yards against edge blitz pretty consistently. And then, as I mentioned, you do have the touch pass, which I'll get to, I believe, in the next clip. But you'll see that you have the touch pass going to the right, and it automatically, screws up man coverage on the touch pass. So you basically are damned if you do, damned if you don't. And that's pretty much the staple of what I, try to create with this offense is I don't want my opponent to have the advantage at any point in terms of what he comes out in, right? So if he comes out in 3-3-5 wide, I can go directly up the middle. If he comes out in edge blitz, I can go to the outside, or I can cut it up the middle, depending on where their user goes. And then, once again, if they're in man coverage, I have the ability to hit this touch pass pretty much at any time I want. Like it's going to force their opponent to sprint over, guard the touch pass to the outside. But as you'll see in the next couple clips, you can actually take this touch pass as long as you have either grab and go or human joystick and go directly up the B gap. And you'll see that you can really, like I said, if your opponent takes one wrong step against the run in this offense, you'll see that it can be a touchdown. It can be a crib shot. There, played it perfectly, right? Now we'll do the exact same thing right here. Same exact adjustment, same exact everything. But instead of it getting only 2 yards or so, here you'll see the same touch pass is going to go for a crib. And it's really just because you could just follow your blockers. I mean, it's really nothing really to it, right? I'm not doing anything crazy, but it is that dominant. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get into the main reasons why this is my main offense. And basically what I've done with this scheme is I've found a way to kind of combine two of the most popular offenses all into one. And what I mean by that is by utilizing motion, I can create a trips tight end type of look, or I can create a ace slot offset type of look, or a slot look. So for those of you that are familiar with the way that the game works, basically, if I was to go ahead and take this running back and motion him to the left, now I've got a trips tight end type of an alignment, right? I've got the tight end and the running back on the right, and then I would have three receivers to the left. So that is one of the main things that I like. I like being able to recreate this trips type of look. Now, in addition to that, it also allows me to create the ace twins type of look, as I mentioned, right? So if I motion the fullback out, now if I motion him over, now I've got the two receivers and then the tight ends to both sides of the field. So the combination of these two things kind of gives me the best of both worlds. Trips tight end is spread out really well. It's very difficult to stop. And then you combine that with the ability from like an ace twins to where I can pick up pressure pretty much at will. And you're going to have, in my opinion, like I said, the best of both worlds when it comes to this scheme. Now, you can also utilize stuff like a strong close, for instance, right? So, just go ahead and get into one of my setups briefly. One of the main concepts people use at a strong close is the motion slant going opposite the hitch in the post. So if I was to go ahead and motion this guy in, now you'll see right here, I've got the motion slant right there, or I got the post going back to the other side of the field. So when you start combining all of these little factors that you can do with this offense, you have, in my opinion, the best running scheme because it counters all of the run defense metas, I should say. Then you have the ability to recreate a trips tight end look, a ace twins look, and you can also utilize concepts like you would normally see out of, say, the strong closes, the eye closes, stuff like that, right? Now, unfortunately, this offense does require Hot Route Master, but with the golden tickets and everybody in MUT, it, like, Muhammad Sanu is like 200K. Like, it's not a very expensive thing to have at this point in the year. So this is a MUT offense, 100%. But with that being said, this is, in my opinion, what is the best offense in the game. And I don't honestly think it's close in terms of a unique standpoint. But also because people don't know how to defend this. Like, no matter what your opponent does, you'll have a counter for it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the play setups. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get into the play setups and the play art. And I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently, right? I'm not going to sit here and I'm going to run the play over and over again and show you the different routes you can hit. I'm going to just explain it to you. I'm going to tell you why the concept works, what the concept is, and then the routes you're looking to hit. And if you're getting blitzed, you know, here's your check down routes. Basically how I'm going to break this video down, just because I don't want this video to be very long in terms of time. Now, the bread and butter passing play that I use is going to be this setup right here out of the play fade smash, where I will post route the tight end, I will post route the slot receiver, and then I will ghost route the fullback. Now, typically when I'm setting these plays up, I almost always max protect, basically because I just want the running back blocked. Max protect allows me to put the hot routes I want, and then if I don't want to put a guy on a route, I don't have to actually block them as well. So it's just a time thing. Now, the way this concept works, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this, but the ghost route is going to pull down every sort of cloud flat, hard flat, curl flat, anything like that to the right side of the field. What that's going to do is it's going to allow Odell Beckham to get open on his post route. Now, the X receiver, Dorsett, running the hitch, is going to do the exact same thing to the left. So I'll be able to throw the post route to the tight end, going back to the left-hand side, pretty much at will as well. So as long as my opponent doesn't bait me, I'm going to have two routes that I can hit, and as long as I make the correct read, there's nothing my opponent's going to be able to do to stop it. This is one of the main reasons why I love this formation, is because of the fact that I can utilize the ghost route to the right, and I have the hitchback to the left. So it works just perfectly in combination with these two inside post routes, because my opponent's not going to be able to do anything about it. Now, that's the first setup that I will use. I'll go ahead and just run it so you guys can see. You'll see right here, you got the post to the left. You would have the post to the right as well. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and show it over and over again because you guys have seen this by now, right? So, once again, that's the first setup that I use, and that is at a fade smash. Setup looks like this, where you've got the two inside posts, you have the ghost route by the fullback, the outside receiver on the hitch. Now, that's the first setup. Now, I use a lot of setups that are similar to this, where I will be utilizing a pull route like the ghost route, and then I'll use the running backs routes, whether it's a full, whether it's a wheel or something like that, to really, you know, add even more stress on my opponent, right? So with that being said, let's get into the second setup that I use, which is going to be to out route the X receiver, wheel route the running back, and then I delay fade the tight end. So now with this setup, I'm going to have the post route going back to the right. That's going to be open. I'm going to have the running backs route that's going to be open against any sort of zone unless they have shaded down vert hooks, which most people do not use. And then you have the check down, right? So I can hike throw that out route to the sideline if my opponent is in like an off coverage, cover 4, a cover 3, something like that. And if they're blitzing heavy, once again, I've got the running back going to the left, I got the fullback going to the right. It's going to basically be up to me to not make a bad read, right? I'm going to have routes open. And that's really all you can ask for with an offense. If I can quick pass to RB, I can quick pass to Y, I can quick pass to X, and if I have time, they have to pick and choose between whether they're going to guard the B receiver or if they're going to guard the running back on the wheel route. So that's the second setup that I use. We'll go ahead and run it just so you guys can see. You see, that's the main difference between the first one. Obviously, the post route is going to be open like I showed on the first setup, right? So that's the first setup that I use. Now, let's branch off of this a little bit more. So say my opponent comes out in a cover 4. If my opponent is in a cover 4, we can bomb cover 4 by simply putting the outside receiver on a post. Oh, let me go back to fade smash. Outside receiver on a post, inside receiver on a corner, and then we're going to max protect and drag the tight end. This is my third setup that I use. This is a cover 4 bomb. Let me go ahead and try to showcase that real quick. You'll see if you can get up out of the pocket even slightly, you'll be able to throw over the top of the zones on the right hand side for the cover 4 bomb. Very simple. Let's go ahead, I'm going to show it to you one more time. We're going to go ahead, corner route the slot receiver, post route the outside left receiver, and drag the tight end. It's a 3-man route combo. We can max protect, we can pick up blitzes if that's what they're doing, right? So say we wanted to go ahead, cut block the guy on the right, say they're blitzing him for whatever reason, I'll actually blitz him. So there you go. So if they were to do something like that, you'll see you'll cut block him, you could roll out and chuck the cover 4 bomb. So that's pretty much the main thing I'm looking to hit when I'm seeing cover 4, right? I want to have the ability to attack my opponent deep, meaning not only do they have to worry about the run with this scheme, they got to worry about which motion I'm using. They got to worry about the running backs to both sides of the field, but now they also got to worry about getting bombed, right? So they're going to have to adjust those safeties, which is key. So you might be thinking, well, what if they just go to a cover 2, right? So like a Tampa pinch dog 2 press type of look, right? That's a popular one. So say they were going to do something like that. Now, I don't have it set, so I'm just going to put the guys out in cloud flats, or excuse me, in soft squats. If my opponent has soft squats out there, which a lot of people use because of how good they are in terms of man coverage, what we can utilize is this combination right here, where we'll go ahead, we'll put the inside receiver on a flat, we'll post route the outside receiver, we will wheel the running back, and then we'll delay fade the tight end. So once again, this is going to be one of those looks where I'm still in this, you know, alignment, right? I haven't utilized any motion yet, but now this look will bomb the Tampa 2 with the soft squads, right? So we'll just go ahead and showcase this to you. Pick him up, deep half glitch to that guy, throw the bomb. Easy money. So I've shown you how to bomb the cover 4, bomb the cover 2, and then you also have other, you know, dink and dunk routes. You have the post going over the middle, you have the post going to both sides, I should say. You got the wheel route to the left that goes to the right. You can hit the baby out routes to the sideline. So let's go ahead and just keep breaking this formation down. Now, another thing I like to do is if my opponent is utilizing a ton of cloud flats by the outside guys, I will utilize a motion cross route. So it'll look like this. This is another setup that I use. I will put the slot receiver on a cross. I will put the outside receiver on an in route. It can be a smart routed in like this, or it could be just, you know, your little baby in, whichever one you want. But basically, I'm going to motion this slot guy in one click, hike the ball, and then what you'll see happen is you'll be able to throw over the top. Now, that looked a little bit goofy just because I got random pressure. I had to throw off my back foot. So I'm going to instant replay just to show you how this works. So I went ahead and I cut blocked the outside guy. My D tackle decided to come around the edge for whatever reason. But pay attention to this, right? So here's your cloud flat. Cloud flats will play to the inside, and then once a receiver kind of gets into their area like this, they're never going to drop back and follow. On the cross, they will do this against a post, but a deep cross, they will actually bite down, and it'll allow you to throw right over the top of them, which is basically what I did right here, right? So you'll see, I wasn't even able to really get up out of the pocket. Like, I tried to get up out of the pocket to make it an easier throw, realized I couldn't, and then threw it right over top of that cloud flat. So it's going to force your opponent to go ahead and pick and choose which they're guarding, right? So we're going to go ahead and do the same setup again. So this time I've smart routed the in route. So now say your opponent is going to manually guard our crosser. It'll look like this, right? Let me go ahead back to a Tampa 2. All right. So they're going to manually guard this deep cross. Now you'll see with this, if they manually guard him, I've got that guy underneath, and I actually kind of messed that setup up. So let me go ahead and do it again. So, all right. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna cut block. We've got the smart route into the other side. We'll go ahead. I'm just gonna click off, right? So I'll show you another alternative. So one of the ways that people will try to take away these are these outside quarters. So let me go ahead and do this. If you motion this guy in, as I showed, you'll be able to throw underneath him right here, and you'll be able to get your feet in bounds in a real game. I don't know what Odell did right there. But, so once again, we're forcing our opponent to pick and choose between one of two routes that we'll be able to hit. Go ahead and do it again. Let's go back. Now you'll see, right there, you can always lowball that in route coming back across the field as well. So basically, they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. Are they going to go guard the deep cross, or are they going to guard the in route? You might be your opponent's going to try to bait it, right? But the deep cross and the in route are so far spread apart. I'm going to go to instant replay and kind of show this to you, that it's very difficult to get baited unless you're getting screamed at. So you'll see right here, right? So right off the bat, the opponent's user has to be in the middle of the field because of the motion. So if they're not in the middle of the field, there's no chance that they're going to be able to make it over there to play it. So if they're cheating a little bit on this route, like say they're on this linebacker right here, right? If they're cheating one click to the left over here to guard that, we know that we're going to have this route. It's really that simple. If they follow this route all the way across, you'll know you'll have the backside in route. As you can see, there's a good
I mean, hell, one's on the left hash almost, and one's on the right hash almost. Like, it's that big of a difference in terms of where the routes are. It's going to be very difficult to bait between the two. So that is a setup that I go to when I need to pick up a huge chunk of yards. So that's one of them. Now, let's go ahead and talk about something different. Let's go ahead and do this right here. So we can go ahead and utilize a strong close type of assignment where I'm going to utilize motion of this outside receiver. So it'll look like this. Right? So we're going to go ahead and motion this outside receiver in. And now we're going to have, obviously, the low ball hitch right there. We'll also have the slant that we can low ball over the middle of the field. And then the post route as well, as you'll see right here, right? So we'll go ahead, set it up, motion this guy over. Well, there's your post route. I apparently hiked the slant a little bit too late, and he blocked. So we'll do it one more time. All right. As you can see, really good spacing between those routes there as well. So, kind of to recap, just keep everything in flow. I've shown this setup right here at a fade smash where you've got the ghost and the two posts. So it looks like this. I've shown the out route wheel combination right here to where you're utilizing the running back out route combo in combination with the ghost route and the post. And then I've also talked about the cover 4 bomb, which is going to be this right here. There's your cover 4 bomb, as well as your cover 2 bomb, which is going to be like that. The last thing that I kind of want to talk about is, well, I already talked about it briefly, is the motion crosser. So you can utilize the motion cross like this right here. If you wanted to go ahead and utilize the cross with the out route wheel combination, you can. You can also utilize the cross with a angle route to the running back. So let me go ahead and show you that real quick, because this is something I do periodically. Is I will leave the hitch route over here on the left hand side by Dorsett. I've got the angle route by the running back, or the fullback I should say. I've got the streak to the tight end. I'm going to motion this guy in. So now right away you'll see, if I can get an accurate pass, it creates a really good high-low directly over the middle of the field with the motion cross and the angle route. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get a clip of this for you for sure. So you'll see right here, you have a nice little, I consider it a dink and dunk route, because more times than not, people are not going to be expecting that route. So it'll be open. I go to this a lot in key situations. Like if I expect my opponent to be sending the crib, but also like monitoring this motion route, I'll sneak in the little running back's angle route right here and pick up my 2, 4, 5 yards. So wanted to go ahead and showcase that. Now, I've shown the main plays. Let's talk about some situational stuff, right? So if my opponent's in a cover 3, I can utilize fade smash, put him on the outside receiver on a post corner, streak the tight end. I also will typically ghost route the running back or the fullback, and I'm going to motion over the slot receiver. Now what you'll see happen is you'll be able to throw this over the top to the left. Now when you do this, ideally you want to be able to roll to the left. So let me go ahead and show you how I would, generally try to block this. So back to cover 3. So it's a max protect, post corner the outside guy, streak the tight end, ghost the fullback. Now I would go ahead and double team that end right there. motion him over, and hike pretty much once he passes the tight end. But as you'll see, you're able to dumb out the outside left corner and utilize this, fade route kind of like a post. So let me go ahead and show it to you one more time through instant replay. You see I'm hiking while he's in motion. Pretty much once he passes the tight end, the streak's going to occupy the deep safety. This outside corner will be occupied by the post corner, and you'll have this fade route that's going to get past the linebacker for an easy touchdown. So that is yet again another bomb, right? So I've shown you how to bomb cover 2, cover 4, cover 3, and then all of these setups essentially beat man. So those are my general setups that I use. Now let's talk about utilizing motion. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about, because I mentioned I can create trips tight end type of look. I can create a strong close type of look, which I've shown. And then you can also create a doubles look, which I didn't mention, but I do use it for a specific purpose. So anytime I want to run a trips tight end type of an alignment, I can. So I can motion this running back over to the left, as I mentioned, and now it's a trips tight end look. So if I wanted to do a inside cross type of look to bomb a cover 4, I could do this, right? So I can set this up, roll to the right a little bit, boom, post over the top. If I wanted to bomb cover 2, I could do the same type of thing. Let me go ahead and show you that. So if I wanted to bomb cover 2, I could go ahead, post flat corner, delay fade here. So same exact thing, the only difference is instead of it being a hitch, it's going to be a flat route. And now if my opponent is in, say, a Tampa 2 with the soft squat out there, you'll see that you'll be able to bomb that as well via the deep half glitch. Now, trips tight end is one of the best things in the game because of the ability to really, dot up your opponent quickly. So one of the things that is really good about trips tight end is you can always roll out towards the corner side. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. I can go ahead and do this same combination, this route combo, but I can cut block the outside guy over here on the right. Say they're blitzing this guy on the right. Let me flip to cover 3. So I could cut block him, and now I'm going to be able to roll out and basically hit this cover bomb that way. Now obviously Brady's not the most nimble character out there, but I can basically bomb everything. And that's the thing that I really like out of this trips tight end type of look, is I can cut block to the right. I can utilize motion blocking to the left if I wanted to. And I can roll out, and if I actually have an escape artist quarterback, I can roll out and throw this corner out to the tight end against most defenses. So let me go ahead and kind of showcase this to you one time. So looks like we're in a cover 4. But say I wanted to go ahead and, motion block to this left-hand side as well, right? So I can double team the running back there. Since I've max protected and I didn't put the running back on a route, I can just motion him back in. I can leave him blocking if I wanted to do that, or I can just leave him out there. It's really that simple. Like, he could be blocking from that spot. Now, if I can roll out, you're able to throw this corner route against most zones. Not all of them, but most. And it doesn't look as good in practice mode because of, obviously, Tom Brady not being the fastest. But this is something, if you're familiar with the near close flex scheme, this is something that's very popular in that scheme as well. And good trips tight end players abuse this also. Just because of the fact that it really forces you to have zones away from where all the routes actually are. So just something for you guys to keep in mind. Now, if you wanted to utilize other concepts, you could, right? So you could utilize a wheel to the running back, motion him out route, post, hitch. So you could recreate a lot of these concepts that we were doing, but now you can utilize a trips type of look with it, right? So you'll see you got the out route, the wheel combo to the left, and you've also got the hitch ghost route to the right. Another staple that people use trips tight end for is the ability to utilize the deep crossers. So say you wanted to come out in this and you wanted to attack deep, you could do something like this right here to where you would set it up like this. This is going to be your wide receiver post type of look. So where you would have a hitch, a flat, or a hitch, a slant, a cross by the tight end, and a deep post. What's going to happen here, obviously you can low ball, but you're looking primarily to hit that deep crosser to the tight end. If you do have abilities on your tight end, if you are in a CFM or something like that, cross specialist is perfect right there. But just wanted to go ahead and showcase that as well. And then I guess the last thing I'm going to talk about with this is going to be the ability to utilize a doubles look. So what a lot of people do is they'll run the pinch buckos or the edge blitzes or stuff like that to where they're man aligned. This is a typical thing you'll see people do. What I like doing is I like putting this running back or the fullback on an angle route and motioning him out. Now I want you to see how this will actually work, right? So I do this setup right here to where I'll do a post, a corner, and the angle route. And just pay attention to the running back on the right. Look at how bad he kills that safety. Now, obviously Gibson's not the best. James White is technically a receiving back. But it's just the double move part of the angle route that makes it so effective. I'm going to go to the instant replay here and show you why. But you'll see, as soon as he breaks to the outside, it's going to follow him. So like as he's breaking to the inside, you can see this is a touchdown if your opponent doesn't respect it. So motioning that guy outward really creates a lot of problems for your opponent if they're in these, man blitzes, so to speak, right? So even say they do something like this, where they're setting up the run defense like that, but they have soft squats out there. So soft squats are a popular thing, right? So let's say they're doing something like this. The same concept's going to work because a soft squat is technically man coverage. Just watch how bad that guy will get beat. As you'll see, I mean, he got absolutely cooked. I just missed the pass. I'm assuming that's Brady's pass lead ability. But as you'll see, once again, the soft squat being out there gets absolutely flooded for what could be a huge gain. Now you might be thinking, well, what if they're the type of player that, sits in stock covered 3? It's a popular thing, right? You can utilize the same thing with the ghost route. So let's go ahead and motion the ghost route out and show you how this will work. So you can do a concept like this where you got the post hitch combination. But one of the things that people love about strong close is the ability to utilize that type of route right there. So let's go to the instant replay and show you that. So a lot of people in strong close will motion out the fullback on its flat route, but it's essentially the same thing as this ghost route. Since the outside guy is in a deep zone, this is a cover 4 drop right here. You can see the linebacker has no shot to get out there and actually play this, and I pick up, what's that, 7 yards, 8 yards? Very easy, and that's one of the players that has human joystick on my team, right? So you could do this to the short side, the wide side, doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead, we'll do it to the wide side over here. So we're going to ghost him. Got the setup right here. Motion the guy out. Quick pass it. Pick up 5-7 yards. Quick, easy little dot. So that was what I was talking about, where you can utilize the same perks of the strong close offense in this offense right here. So we've already shown where you can utilize the post hitch, slant, wheel combination, right? So like this combination right here, we've already shown this one. But now you have the ability to utilize the fullback's route on the ghost route that you motion out. And it's so much that your opponent has to defend passing wise that you kind of forget that this is a run offense. This is the triple option, the power option, the jet touch pass. Like, these are dominant running plays if you know when to run them. So you start adding all these passing concepts in there, and basically, in my opinion, it's the only time I get stopped is when I make a bad read, or like if I get fluke pressure, something like that, right? You have all the abilities in terms of the routes that you want to use in terms of the personnel. So let's go ahead. Enough rambling on about this. Let's go ahead and get one more thing done that I want to talk about, and that's going to be the Ace Twins type of look. This is once again out of Fade Smash. So one of the things that I really like to do is I like to go ahead and utilize this concept right here, where I've got 2 corners, 2 flats, and a post. So what I did is I motioned the fullback over to the left, right here, to the trip side, or to the dual receiver side, and I'm putting him on a corner route, right? So he goes on the corner. Now what this does is you have the flat corner combo to the left that I can go ahead and I can hit this over the top like that, right? So that's going to beat any sort of zone right there. No zone's going to play that. The other thing that it does is it makes it almost impossible to blitz because of the fact that you have the route by the running back right here. So you'll see boom, boom, flat, post. So this is a setup that you can use. Now you'll see you have that route right there. You have the flat route to the running back. You have the corner route to the fullback, which I mentioned. You have the flat pass to the slot receiver. You have too many routes for them to guard. And all you're doing is you're motioning the guy over, putting him on a corner route, putting the other tight end on a corner route, flat the slot receiver, post the X receiver, the outside receiver. So once again, you'll see, boom, you can hit that corner, or you can hit the other one. Now, say you wanted to recreate the dominant play post. You could recreate the play post by utilizing this same motion, right? So you would do something like this, put the out route to the fullback. Now you've got this combination right here to where they guard the flat or the post, or excuse me, the flat or the corner, and then if they overreact to the corner, then there's a good shot to get beat by the post. And then you can also utilize the, say you wanted to put your running back on a flat, right? So you would put him on a flat, motion him over. So now it looks like this. Now you'll see you've got the quick flat pass over here, which no purple zone or curl flat or anything like that's going to play. Let me go ahead and showcase that to you. That's not something I've actually broken down yet. Say your opponent has cloud flats out there. So if you go ahead and you put your running back on a flat, which is going to be your traditional table route, and you motion them over, watch how the cloud flat has to play this, right? You see it just drops back, allowing you to throw that and pick up 10 yards. Like, the cloud flat won't play the underneath route, as you see right here, and it also won't play the corner route. Like, the corner route gets behind it as well. So basically anybody that puts their outside linebackers in cloud flats are just giving you 10 plus yards. It forces their user over there, in all honesty. All right, so last thing we're going to take a look at, guys, is going to be PA levels, and this is a play that I really only utilize for one main purpose, and that is to attack with both wheel routes. You'll see that I've got the fullback on a really good wheel route to the right. What I'll do is I'll put a wheel route by the running back, so you'll want your 2 receivers to be on the wide side of the field. It's pretty much what you want the majority of the time in this offense anyway. But then what I'll do is I'll motion over Dorsett right here. So I'm going to motion over the outside guy and pretty much try to abuse the wheel routes. So I'll have the wheel route to the left, as you see right there, and you'll also have the wheel route going to the right. So it pretty much forces your opponent to pick and choose what they're going to guard. So you see, here's the setup once again, where I've got the post to the tight end, I flat the slot receiver and wheel route the running back, motion over Dorsett to where it creates a strong close type of an alignment. But I'm mainly, like I said, I'm looking to hit the wheel routes, as you see. Now it's hard for me to showcase this play in general just because of Brady's pass lead abilities, but for those of you that have played, you know that wheel routes get open with the flat, right? I mean, I show it to the left, but the fact that this wheel route is a little bit quicker, if I try to pass lead it slightly, it just gets all jacked up. But as you see, it does work.